Leave my mama alone.
Don't laugh.
They couldn't even wait for us to get back on. Hello, everybody out there that's listening to us tonight. Welcome back to Sunday Night Live with Shari Addison by way of www.intellectualradio.com. Yes. I know you have been waiting for us to get back on the air. Well, we are here tonight. And you know what time it is? It's time for you to tell somebody, call somebody, text somebody, Facebook somebody, tweet somebody, tango somebody. I said call, right?
Mm-hmm.
Text somebody. Y'all know I was going to say it. I was going to say it.
This.
And I missed it. And I'm sorry because I know somebody was sitting out there saying, she didn't even tell us to fax somebody. That means write it on a sheet of paper, slide it through the computer, and it's going to come across it outside.
No,
you can scan it on your computer now and just fax it. Get it to them and let them know we are on the air. We are here. Everybody's here. Who's here? We got Lindsay is here, and we've got a Ask Lindsay segment coming for you. We've got Jessica Brooke here, and Jessica's going to speak. Earl is in the house, and we've got Marquita. I always have to think about it. Marquita's in the house again this week, everybody. And so, look, tell them we are here by way of www.intellectualradio.com. Yes, indeed. And you know you need to write this number down, 708-223-8953. Let them know. We've got great music for you tonight, great topic. But first of all, how was everyone's weekend?
Weekend was good. We had a mother-sister bonding moment.
Oh, really? How was that?
You look so shocked.
Oh, really?
We went to see, what is the name of
The
it?
Butler.
The Butler.
Yeah.
It was
phenomenal.
phenomenal.
It was.
All I have to say
is Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
I have not been an Oprah fan ever.
I have, always have.
I've never been an
I was
Oprah
supposed
fan.
to be asleep, sneaking, watching TV at the corner of my eye while my godmother was watching Oprah.
I've never liked Oprah like that, but
She was
watching
incredible.
She's an actress.
Yeah, you got to give
And
her
incredible. She wasn't acting. I
I
think
enjoyed her.
she was like the only person in the film who was not acting.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it felt.
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
It was historically put together well.
Mm-hmm.
The mix of actual footage with the movie was great. It was just well done. So congratulations.
Wardrobe.
Everything was great. It was a lot of fun. It took you back. Well, it took me back, and then I could explain a few things to maturing the different presidents that I had forgotten that I grew up, with these different president administrations.
Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama. Sorry. Not that old.
Clinton, Bush, Obama.
Oh, wow. See, and I do go back to the Kennedys and Johnsons and Reagans and Carters, and I didn't realize I had experienced so many presidents.
We're only in for 4 years.
Yeah, wow. So, hey, 4 goes into my number quite a few times. What can I tell ya? Hey, keep coming my way. And look, it's good when you get here. Good luck with that. Okay, I gave you great genes. What can I tell you?
What's that voice?
They love me. They
It
love me.
shows up around this time every week. I don't understand.
Yes, indeed. So, yes, we had a great time. It was me, and I even took my youngest daughter, and it was a great historical lesson because, we've done shows, and I referenced this when we left the theater that, we've talked about how the use of the N-word, that was one of our shows, and how it has been so watered down that it's such a common term. But then watching this movie, it put things back into perspective.
For me, especially because I've seen plenty of civil rights movies, plenty of history movies, and I still felt the way I felt about the N-word until I saw that movie.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I don't know what it was about this one that made it more real for me. It's like, wow. You know what I mean?
It was
People
really
actually
good.
made a choice.
Yeah.
They were being Christ-like. If you think about it, they made a choice to give of themselves, even though it didn't feel good.
So that I might have.
Oh, so that I could sit at a lunch counter or
Absolutely.
dinner counter with any race. And it was great.
Yeah, it made some of my children put themselves in that seat. Like, whoa, could I have done that?
I could.
Yeah, it didn't make me put myself in that seat. I'm sure. Yeah, that I couldn't have done it.
I mean, neither.
I'm sure.
It was the craziest thing, but it was a great movie, great time. And my youngest, it was a great history lesson for her to see up front because, you know, at first I thought maybe it was going to be a little intense, but it was intense in some parts. But she needed to see it, you know, because they're not growing up with that kind of handed down knowledge of what people have had to sacrifice in order that they can have everything at their beck and call nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Right. It takes me back to conversations I used to have with my great grandfather. I mean, she's so much bigger. About, you know, when he used to march with Dr. King and you know, that type of thing. And so he's not with us anymore. And so their generation kind of misses out on that, you know, firsthand conversation. So like you said, it was cool to be able to share in that experience with her.
Great time. Anything else of importance that anybody'd like to mention?
You know, nothing major.
All righty then. Well, let's just get to it. Tonight's topic.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, she did it for you.
Right, so you don't have to go there.
And look, write this number down, 708-223-8953. And you all call in because you may want to just weigh in on the topic. Well, it's been in the news all week, and it's the Jesse Jackson, Sandy Jackson have been sentenced.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was sentenced to 30 years.
30 months.
30 months. Silly me. 30 months. And Sandy was sentenced to 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight's discussion is Jesse Jackson's sentence and his wife. And they will serve staggered time in jail because they have small children. And our topic tonight is why steal from others when you're already blessed? That's my topic for tonight. So we know kind of what's going on. It was funny because the U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson, who was the judge over the case, said that the Jacksons used campaign funds as a personal piggy bank. Mm-hmm. And I thought, wow, that was very, I could see that. You know, that statement, the way she said it, you could see that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like a personal piggy bank. Whenever I want to do something, I just go right in here in this little funds and do what I do. And that we know they pled guilty and all of that. So the thing is, why steal from others when you're already blessed? The more people have, the more people want, is what I know. And the rich sometimes feel that there is a certain entitlement that comes with being rich. When you're accustomed to having not is not even an option. You know, not having is just not even an option. And so, therefore, those that have, them that's got shall get, such as the song says, and them that's not shall lose. That's kind of how America is built. Mm-hmm. It's built on the backs of those who are struggling.
Absolutely.
If everybody, our country is rich enough that everybody could have $1 million, but if they did, then who would work in McDonald's?
Right.
I just don't foresee any $1 million millionaires dropping fries and flipping burgers. So it's made so that the system is made to be on the backs of those that are in need. That's why payday loans work. Mm-hmm. And, you know, because people are needy. They're not having enough. They're not getting bonuses and increases from year to year, but everything else is still going up.
Yeah.
You know, ain't no breaks being cut there. And so in order to make it, the system is designed so that you can feed the system. Yeah. And it's on the backs of the poor. The rich get richer, they make money, but they don't have to use their own money to make money. Right. Banks will just walk in and hand them money, but don't let somebody
they can use campaign funds.
Dun, 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 dun. Girl, she just threw that right in for free. Right in for free. She threw that one right in for free. You know, and so, right, people that are accustomed to having are accustomed to having. And they feel a certain level of entitlement. Oftentimes, they don't feel they're doing anything wrong. They're doing what they're accustomed to do. You know, this is the norm. This is the way things have been set up for us to do. It's the design. Doesn't make it right.
Right.
It just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me, I'm always looking for something that can from the basic instruction before leaving earth, which is called the Bible. And so I went to the scripture to see what does the scripture say about, you know, greed or about, you know, people having so much and wanting more, whatever the case may be. So I went to 1 Timothy, the 6th chapter, the 9th and the 10th verses, which read, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covet after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. And the Bible don't lie. You know, it's when you get caught. You know, you don't realize you're piercing yourself as you're going along. But when you get caught, because see, sometimes I believe the Lord has to let us get caught, because if he didn't, we will continue like we were, like fat rats, and bust wide open.
Right.
You know, because we wouldn't stop. We would just continue to glutton and eat, be greedy and pull in more and more. And so, hey, I mean, this Bible don't lie. You know, whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. I can't say that they're reaping the punishment that's due, because I've seen, it's just been historically that no-name people suffer more. But it just doesn't make it right. And, hey, all I know is God get the final say so. And in the interim, we just have to bear it and deal with it.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that right now. How about some great music, you all? Try Jesus. That's what we all really need to do. Just try Jesus. Tally Rogers is going to come to us right now, and then we'll be back with more Sunday Night Live with Shari Addison by way of www.intellectualradio.com, 708-223-8953. I know somebody got something to say. Write it down. We'll be back. Ooh. That was choppy. Qualtet.
That's
You
not
can't
a
say
word.
It is. You can't
Qualtetti.
say. Yeah. Qualtetti.
Or quartet.
Qualtetical.
Okay.
Hey, see, I was just the one I started.
That's a word.
All right. You know what? It is time for us to just ask Lindsay. But before I ask Lindsay, I got to say, happy day before your birthday, Earl.
Happy
Happy day before.
Yes. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Earl. Happy birthday to you. Why did you go
See, this might
so
be
high
messing
for
with
no
your family, folks, because then they want to fall all out on the end of the song. Happy birthday, Earl. I hope you enjoyed the first half of
trying to
the
do a
show.
breakout over
It's
song.
20
keys.
They're always trying to blame me. They gang up on me like I've got senility or something. I don't remember what I was supposed to do. Ask Lindsay, because she know everything.
Lindsay know everything.
I know everything.
Everybody knows you know everything. So come on now.
I ain't know mom was finna break out in the song. Anyway, the Ask Lindsay segment for today is, in my opinion, do I feel that the Jacksons were needful of taxpayers' money to the tune of $750,000, greedy, or do you feel that they were trying to live a lifestyle that was beyond their means? I don't know, and who cares for real? Like, you know, I'm just keeping it real. I really don't care at this point, because it's something that has been done and is still being done today. You know, I don't even understand. I don't quite understand the way the law is written in terms of that. Because when people donate to a campaign fund, and this is just me, you know I'm donating to, let's just say, Shari Addison for president, okay? So when I'm making my contribution, I'm making my contribution to Shari Addison for president. Whatever's left over, why Shari Addison can't have it?
Hello.
After that. Because I donated to her.
Right.
Okay? So that is where I find a problem with the legislation in terms of that. However, the law is the law, and so that's illegal, and they got in trouble for it, and they're going to jail. Okay? So I don't care. What bothers me,
What bothers you, Lindsay?
Regarding
I had
this.
to ask because we're asking Lindsay.
is the sentencing. Jesse got 30 months. Sandy got 12 months, okay? So they sentenced her to 12 months exactly, not 12 months in a day, not a year and a day. Because if they had sentenced her to a year and a day, that would have made her eligible for good time and all that, so she would have essentially done 10 months. So she has to do exactly 12 months, okay? So my problem with this is there are lots and lots and lots of people who've done less and been sentenced to more. It's not fair.
Nope.
It angers me in that there's a whole system designed so that things like this don't happen, so that it can be fair, but because they are who they are, they were able to circumvent the system. You know, I was sharing in studio that I have some friends who were sentenced, who committed federal crimes, went to jail, and both the mother and father of these children both went to jail. So now the children have been adopted out by complete strangers. But yet Jesse and Sandy have the option to stagger their sentences. Unheard of. How many people, how many children, both of their parents, go to jail and they fall in the system? And these are children who wouldn't fall in the system because they have family support.
Right.
So they committed a crime, it's time to go to jail, go to jail. And your children, are spared the burden that other children in the world are not spared.
Yep.
So you're saying that even though I committed my crime, my children are more special than the other millions of children just in Chicago alone who are without parents because their parents have committed a crime. To me, they're making this very easy for them. Very easy for them. He gets to choose where he's going? Really? Really? Where did he do that? I guess here.
Yeah.
In these United States of America, if you're a senator, my thing is they are lawmakers.
Yeah.
They are both lawmakers. So even though we feel that the law is faulty, we know that they know what the law is because they are lawmakers.
Exactly.
And so when lawmakers become lawbreakers, they should be held to a higher standard because you set these things in place.
Right.
And if you ain't think it was right, and if you felt like you should be able to spend this money, then you should have went in there and had some legislation changed.
Yep.
But you didn't do that. Instead, you went to go buy Michael Jackson memorabilia.
Right.
I'm outraged. I'm angry. It's uncomfortable. Because now it's made like, woe is them. Poor Sandy and poor Jesse. They're going to have to go to jail.
Like normal people.
Right.
Who break the
Who
law.
do wrong? Do y'all feel, let somebody steal your money? You going to feel sorry for them? No. And so why are they special? What are we saying to our to the youth? Because youth now are paying more attention to politics and news and these type of things than ever.
Yeah.
So what type of a standard are we setting? Okay, let me go to school and become a senator so that way I can break the law. And when I do break the law, they're just going to give me a slap on the wrist because I know lawmakers.
And then you can be a gardener when you go.
Absolutely.
Where they have a pool where he's going.
Absolutely.
A whole lot of extra things that other people don't get in jail.
So,
To live cushy.
It was real cushy.
I got a different take on that too. Federal prison ain't cushy, period. Hello, let's be clear. Everybody likes to have that conversation that, it's a country club. That is not the truth. You know what I mean? There is no pool for inmate use. There is not a pool for inmate use. Let's be clear. In no federal prison camp in the United States of America, there is not a pool for inmate use. Okay? They have pools at certain camps, but that's because those facilities are for people who have disabilities. Because people who have disabilities, they get sentenced, they get time too. So when you have different physical therapies and different exercises, those are what those things are for. But the media is not going to paint the picture that way. They're not going to say that. So no, he don't get to just decide, I'm going to the wreck and I'm going to go swimming today. That's not, you know what I mean?
Right.
So because he has a bipolar disorder, they're sending him to a medical facility. And so they have a pool at the medical facility. That's, you know what I mean? But the media's not going to tell it that way. And so then it in turns creates an outrage and people are upset. He's going to a country club, And so, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People do federal crime and they kicking it. So yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Like I said, the segment needs to be renamed to Lindsay Knows. Somebody please call in and ask her how to build a canoe. Because I want to know, and I know she knows it. So call and ask her that. Email, text her, fax her, tweet her. Because she knows everything it is to know about anything.
It's funny. There used to be a time when they say justice was blind, but clearly
Or it's not.
Clearly,
Or no.
Justice has gotten her vision back.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees what she want to see, and that which she don't, she turns a deaf ear.
She turns a deaf ear and a
Yeah.
blind eye. It does.
Yes.
It's sad. It's very, very sad.
It
We got a
is.
lot of ladies, spending life sentences in prison, for drugs and things like that. And he gets 30 months as a lawmaker who knowingly broke the law.
Yep.
Well, we did ask Lindsay, and she told us how she felt about it. And right now, we're going to play a little bit more music. We're going to go to Donna Lawrence. Look, if you're listening out there and you got something to say, you want to say about it, dial us at 708-223-8953. You're listening to Sunday Night Live with Shari Addison by way of www.intellectualradio.com. We'll be right back.
Good job, Lindsay.
Do you think he's bipolar?
No, he's not bipolar.
No, girl, please.
He had an Olivia Pope on his
Oh,
tail.
hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
I agree.
You know it's going to come out.
He is
Yeah,
not
So
bipolar.
we're going to get this going first and
Right.
foremost.
He wasn't bipolar before this.
No, he
Hello.
wasn't. He was not.
He became bipolar in awakening. It was for their family, for their children. And there's plenty of other families in America, across the world, who don't get these graces.
Mm-hmm.
So in my opinion, they haven't fallen from political grace at all.
Okay.
Coupled with book deals and,
Exactly.
the Lifetime movie
This
special
pretty
that's
much
gonna come
set
out
them
after.
up.
Absolutely.
It pretty much set them up. So yes, nobody wants to go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sad thing whenever it's time to go to jail. But, and like Lindsay also pointed out, jail is not cushy, but theirs was made a lot easier than anybody else's.
Mm-hmm. And think about Blagojevich.
Ooh. 15 years, was it?
Yeah.
He got
15
15 years.
I
I don't think a political grace, set in with him.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
That's there
And
is.
even with their sentences are staggered, and they said that once Jesse Jackson Jr. is to serve his time first, and then when he comes home, 30 days after that,
Yeah.
then Sandy is supposed to go.
Another grace period.
Right.
So, all kinds of grace.
They get
has
30
been
days
administered.
to be with their family together and conjugate.
They be 30 days to be with each other.
Right. To be with each other before the other one has to go to jail. Really? Come on.
That's
Yeah.
unheard of.
Unprecedented.
And it's so funny because the flip side of it, and I know we all have an opinion of it, the way it looks and the way it just reeks of just seem like this ain't fair, But then when you think about us being God's children and His grace, grace covers where justice, where justice, he is withheld. That grace will cover. Grace and mercy covers. And, I always say, if I got children, and if one of them slapped the other, I wouldn't want to go and stab one as punishment for the other.
Right.
But, you want that vengeance. You want to be vindicated. You want to see some results right here.
Mhm.
Why grace got to kick in now? They
Right.
kick in on my turn.
Come on,
and that
right.
kind of
Good morning.
stuff.
Preach.
But
Now she took a text.
these are still God's children. And somebody prayed for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's been his mama or whatever the case may be, we never even think about that.
Yeah.
How this thing plays out and how, a pardon can be here, in the earth realm. But we still got to give an account for every deed that's done that we're non-repentant for in this, in the after, in the judgment,
Absolutely.
because the judgment is definitely coming. But
Listen, it reminds me of something we talked about last week as far as the pastors is concerned. When you get ready to take these type of positions, whether it be in the spotlight or the leader of something, you really need to read the fine print and take some time and think about what you are taking on.
What that means.
What
Because
that
it becomes
means.
a lifestyle. It's not just a
job.
9 to 5.
Right.
It's your life.
Certain
You know what I mean?
positions are
Certain positions
your life.
are a lifestyle. And I definitely agree with that. And with that being said, that is why I feel the way I feel about what the sentence is.
Right. I
Because
agree. I think we all on one accord this week.
Because
I
it's
agree.
a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And unfortunately, that is the lifestyle.
Yes.
You know, a lot of senators and aldermen and women, it's done. You know, we said that when we talked about this initially when they were first indicted. That
they're not the first.
they're not the
to do
first, they're
this.
not the last. It's being done
And
now.
that could be why it was just so comfortable to do it, because
That
it's a
is
common
why.
practice.
Think about it.
You
They
know.
did it. They weren't hiding it.
Right.
It was traceable.
Yeah.
They bought stuff like toothpaste.
Yes, God.
Took like girls to Build a Bear. This is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the stuff that they were doing with these funds. You know what I mean? So that speaks to the level of normalcy or entitlement
That's a good word right there. Entitlement.
in this instance. It's done so often. You know, it's like one of those things. Hey, I'll take you to lunch, sure, because I can write it off. But y'all ain't really talking about no business.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it happens from boardroom to, you know, corporate America to the Senate.
You know, it's so funny how we think of how far we've come, but then really looking at it and having hindsight, and when you get that magnifying glass to really look at it, we haven't really gone very far. You know, when you talk about how far we've come, we looked at that movie and we were looking at the prejudices and, you know, and whereas we thought we had come through the years and things had gotten better, it's just political.
Well, you know, I don't really think this is one of those political prejudices. Like, if we go back, I really think this is one of those things where Jesse got away with murder with the whole Senate seat thing, and Blagojevich got nailed to the cross for it. So, you know what I mean?
They're going to get him.
They're going to get him. And he didn't sit down somewhere, you know.
And
You
stop.
thought, oh, I got off. I am who I am. I'm good. But at that point, you should have cleaned
his
house.
act. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay,
Set your
it's like
stuff.
the OJ. It's like OJ.
Yeah.
He got away with a double murder,
Yeah.
and now you want to go steal your memorabilia back. He was supposed to sit down somewhere.
And be
He's supposed to be
good.
a sports announcer, a retired old man somewhere golfing, but no, you want to do too much. And that's exactly what happens. When people feel privileged,
Yeah.
when they get away with so much,
That's
it's
what I was talking about by
never
saying
going
things
to...
haven't really changed,
Yeah,
even though
when you
they
get away
look
with
like
so
on the
much.
outside it has changed. But then you when you can get underneath it, you
Yeah.
can see behind closed doors what really goes on.
So you're not
It
going to stop
really
until you
hasn't.
get caught.
Right.
Absolutely.
Period. So now that he's been caught, maybe he'll stop. You gonna stop Jesse? You know? Somebody call Jesse and ask him, is he gonna stop?
You know, and it's funny. That doesn't mean that everybody else has stopped. And it's so crazy
They're
because
not
you would
going
think
to.
other people would say, ooh,
No.
I better stop.
But see, they're not under that. They're not under that
a
microscope. They're
Yeah.
not under the microscope, unfortunately. So it's going to continue to happen. It's not going to be, you know, for instance, you would think it would start them into investigating all of the politicians to make sure that they're using, appropriating funds properly. But they're not going to do that because that's not the reason they went after him in the first place.
Exactly.
They went after
Save
him
that.
because he got off with
From the
the
other.
other scandal. So he was, he got away with that unscathed. So let me find something on him. So until they need something on somebody else, they're not going to go and look at it because they know they're doing
They
it.
saving
They
it
know they're doing it.
for a
Right.
time in need.
They
But when they
absolutely
need it.
say that. I believe they.
When they
bottled
want
up.
your seat, let me go see what you have done. And that's why my mom always told us, it's best to just be right.
Yeah.
Just do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Period. And then you don't have to deal with stuff like
You
that.
don't have to come.
It's
around
not one of
when
those.
you're right.
It's not one of those kind of things. If I'm not involved, it don't even matter. Look,
Yeah.
because I'm not done
Sure,
anything.
come on in.
I'm not doing anything. You know, you open the door for the feds. Yeah, there's my computer, and there's the wife's computer. You know, they go to shredder right there, but we don't shred nothing but social security numbers, so you can put that back together too.
Right.
You'll invite them in because you have not done
You
anything.
don't have anything
Exactly.
There's nothing to hide.
Yeah.
You always told us that.
Yeah.
Just be right because it's right to be right.
Yeah, that's true, and I don't know. This is just so tricky and it's so crazy because in the media we have so much going on right now. Whereas you find just as many people that have been not guilty,
Absolutely.
that have been sentenced to major
Crimes.
and have had to pay years, 25 years and 20 years, and you can't get that stuff back.
No.
You
And then you
know?
have to think about it. After 30 years in prison, I'm sure you have adjusted, you know.
Yeah, you figure, well, this is where I am, and this is how it's going to be. And
Right.
the craziest thing, there is no rehabilitation for people without a name.
No.
That come out of prison.
Absolutely.
You know, they say you got to go to work, but then they won't hire you because you have a background.